What's going on, everybody? Average Arcader here, and I have been playing a lot of No Place Like Home lately. I'm having a real good time with it, so much so that I wanted to do a first impressions video, because it's not exactly done yet, so I can't do a full review because there's so much that still needs to be added. But there's enough here for me to do a first impressions, as well as me wanting to do a tips and tricks, a little bit of a guide too. Now, if you're here for the tips and the tricks, like how to actually get the water filter that cleans up the toxic waste, well, you skip to this section of the video. Anybody else? Let's go ahead and get into the first impressions. I gotta say that I love the premise of this game. You play as Ellen, one of the few remaining people on Earth after it's become so overpolluted and full with trash that everyone else has abandoned the planet. It's her job to smash apart all the different piles of trash with a multiple selection of tools and suck them up with her vacuum cleaner. Once she does that, she can recycle the trash, turning it into materials that she can use to rebuild her little farm and the surrounding area. I gotta say, it reminds me a lot of Stardew Valley. It starts off the same way and you do a lot of similar things, only this is more 3D and that's a 2D game. But basically, you are doing the same things. You're starting out with a farm that's overrun with a bunch of trash. You have to clean it up and basically rebuild it to, your liking, and then even rebuild parts of the town. But this is more so rebuilding. You completely have to rebuild everything around. All the surrounding area, everything needs to be rebuilt by your recycling of the different trash piles, planting of crops to get different equipment, and then rebuilding everything. So it's a really satisfying gameplay loop, I must say. The music is relaxing. It's fun to sit there and just chop away at the different trash piles and then suck them up and then run back to your recycling machine. I had a lot of fun doing that. And there's even a little bit of combat, just like in Stardew Valley. There's a bunch of these little robots, these spider robots that are hostile, and you have to fight them. And, it's not complicated. You just gotta be careful, watch your health, and you just go and you whack them a couple times, and then eventually they blow up and they drop a battery, which you suck up with your vacuum cleaner and use again to rebuild equipment and tame other robots. So I like it, but it's not complete. It's in early access, so there's a lot missing from this game. It's got a lot of areas that are just showpiece areas. There's a lot of functions that are not there. There's equipment that you're going to pick up that you're never going to have a use for. There's materials that you're going to pick up that you're never going to have a use for because they just haven't added it yet. And there's a lot of things that do glitch out. Getting stuck in the terrain is actually something big that will happen to you, and there is a day and night cycle, and if you're not back home in time, you could wind up falling asleep out there and lose some of your inventory. But thankfully, they've got a fix for that. If you are stuck, you can go to the menu and push unstuck, which will automatically loosen you from whatever area you're stuck in. So it's nice they have something for that to help you get by. Now, this is a farming sim, and the farming part has been done rather well. The key is to go out and collect seeds from the different areas. Each area will have a higher chance of finding certain seeds. You bring them back to your farm, water them once a day unless they're trees which just need to plant the world on their own, and then you harvest whatever plant that they are. You can use those to either craft certain things at the shop, tame certain animals, or cook them and turn them into meals that you can use to trade for different equipment. So it's actually got a nice little rhythm with it. Even with the taming of animals, after you tame an animal, you're not done. If you want to get the resources from them, say get eggs from chickens, they're going to ask for something every time you collect the eggs. They're going to ask for maybe a potato to eat or for a bath. Strange things, the robots that you tame ask for the same thing. They'll ask for a bath, and I don't think water and robots really mix, so maybe that's something that might get tweaked later. But it is fun that once you have that set up, you still got things to do, so you're never just going through one motion. You have to keep working. Again, just like in Stardew Valley, once you tame an animal, you still gotta pet it and feed it and give it things for it to produce things. So it is nice to have a little depth there. Unfortunately, there's not too much you can build in the farm right now that actually does things. There's a lot of decorative stuff with only a few actual pieces of equipment. I'm guessing in the future more will be added. I guess that's the biggest downfall with No Place Like Home right now. There's so much more you want from it, and it's just not there yet. Good premise, good idea, and I have fun with it, but I want more. I definitely want more. So I'll be paying attention to this game as it goes into the future because I'm having fun and I definitely want to see more. Right now, after you reach a certain point, the only thing you'll be able to do is simply just keep cleaning up different trash piles throughout the map that you can actually get to. A good chunk of the map is not done. It straight up says, hey, this is just a placeholder. You can walk through it, but there is nothing here you can interact with. And that is a little bit of a bummer, but again, it is an early access game that just released, so it's understandable. So, if you like farm sims, I recommend that you check this game out. But understand that it is a work in progress, there's still a lot that needs to be done to it, but when it is done, you're going to have a really amazing game on your hands. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the tips and tricks part of the video. Tip number 1, be careful where you put chests. They cannot be moved from wherever they're put once they are put down. I'm pretty sure this is a glitch because there's only one other item that I know of that does that, and that's the well for water, which actually makes sense. Once you dig a well, you can't move it. But for the chest, that doesn't make sense. If you put a chest down, you should be able to pick it up. So I'm guessing this is going to be fixed eventually. But as for right now, once it's down, it cannot be moved. So make sure wherever you put it is where you want it, because you ain't going to be able to move it again. Tip number 2. There are a lot of scrap and secret items and or materials that you can use to help give yourself a boost when unlocking things. Now, most of them you can see and figure out a way to get to anyway, pretty quickly. But there's one in the beginning area that you can miss if you're not diligent in cleaning up all the trash. I know I missed this. Right at the entrance of going into town, there's a big pile of trash that if you clean up, you'll find a hidden entrance into the tunnels that takes you to a bunch of scrap and materials that you can use. This is really helpful when you're trying to unlock things quickly, so make sure to not forget to clean out that section and find that hidden entrance. Okay, this next tip is important. In the town, there's a toxic waste dump. If you want to actually clean it up, you have to go get this special water filter that's on the other side of town. There's a whole path you have to take to get to that's long and hard. There's a lot of things you have to fight. Now, before I get into tips on how to do that, there's one thing you have to remember. Do not, for any reason, exit out of the game or load another save, anything. Once you leave the map for any reason, even if you save, that water filter disappears. We don't know why it happens. It's a mass glitch. It happens to just about everyone who plays it. So if you actually want to get the water filter, you cannot leave the game until you do, because if you do, it disappears and you cannot complete the quest for cleaning up that toxic waste dump. Now, this isn't going to be an easy task. In order to get to the water filter, you need to have unlocked all the different pieces of equipment that you can get. That's the pick hammer, the drill, and the flaming chicken attack that basically takes out all the robots in one hit. You're going to need this attack to get through there because there's a bunch of big blue spider robots that do massive damage, and the only way to really take them out effectively is with that flaming chicken attack. Now, it's not hard to unlock these things, it just takes time. So if you don't have a long time to spend playing the game, because this is going to take at least an hour or two, for your first session, you're going to lose that thing because you have to focus on getting that. And once you turn off the game or load another save, that disappears. Load out of the game, it's gone. So you have to focus on getting those equipment and cutting a path to that water filter. Okay guys, that's it for today. I really did enjoy this game, and I plan on doing many more videos on it as it continues to get completed and all the different things that are missing are added. But if you did like this video, or it helped you at all, even a little bit, please leave a like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification button. That way you're alerted if we do another video on this game. But until next time, I'm Average Arcader. Thanks again for watching, and have a nice day.